Yeah, I thought you said Connor.
All right. Everyone quiet on the set. Jacob, please take a seat.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Take a seat.
Okay.
I told you to take a seat.
All right.
Take a seat.
I'm getting one. Come on.
All right. See ya. Zoom. Zoom is good. Zoom is good.
Seems good.
All right.
Do I look at the camera?
You look fine. Stop it. We're perfect. Jacob.
Yes.
So, tell me, President of reekob, co-president of reekob,
Co-president.
what would be the best word to represent your country just to start this thing off?
Best word. When it comes to reekob, I guess the best word to describe it would be, lit. Yeah.
Reese,
Yes.
how would you describe the history of your country?
Well, see, sometime in the 1880s, there was this global thing where countries had this evaluation to see how productive their citizens were being. So, citizen by citizen, they evaluated and to see how productive each member of society was. And if you didn't pass a certain level of productivity, you were
You
kicked out.
kicked to the curb, essentially.
Essentially, yes.
Yes.
Kicked to the curb of an archipelago in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Wonderful.
So once we were there, we were just we were lost. We didn't know what we were doing there. We didn't know the layout of the place. We were just really confused. But one thing that we did find out was that this archipelago, or at least the island that we were stuck on at the time, had an insane amount of tropical fruits. Now, you may think this is kind of weird. What are you going to do with a bunch of tropical fruits, and how does it build a foundation to build a country? Well, I'll tell you. For one, it ensured that we weren't going to end up starving to death, which is kind of nice. And, we were just thinking, how can we use this in a way that benefits us? I mean, we're a bunch of people without a leader, and here we are stuck with no direction, but we've got a resource that we could easily turn to our advantage. So, that was that.
So, years later, too, we realized that we were sitting on one of the biggest gold reserves ever recorded in human history. But that was like 100 years later. But anyways, when we first got to this island, we had no idea what we were doing. We had this civilization that we had to build from the ground up. I mean, like, we had nothing. We had all these fruits, but, I mean, what were we gonna do? Build houses out of fruit? So, basically what we needed leaders to help us grow this civilization so we can, be a civilization, I guess. I don't know how to... Anyways, so finally we decided that me and Jacob were like the best decisions because we were like super good at leadership and like we were handsome as hell. And like it was a unanimous decision, dude. Everyone was like, Jacob, please, like, you're so good. I love you. You should be the leaders, president. Tell us what to do. And like we were like, alright, yeah, let's do it. And now we're leaders.
That is not at all what happened. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of force involved, quite a few tears, a lot of blood, but eventually, we ended up the leaders.
And then they were like, oh my god, I love Reese more than Jacob a little bit because he's like cooler. And like they were making us fruit smoothies and everything. Like we didn't have blenders, but they squashed them and like made us like cool little drinks. And like we were just like dope leaders, like we were just leading this like lit nation where it's like they just worshipped us, man. Like some serious shit going on.
As you know, you and Reese were both the leaders of this country. I mean, how did you organize a country full of rejects and criminals and hobos? Like, what did you do when you first got into power? How'd you organize this nation into what it is today?
Well, we did what essentially any anyone would do as the first step. We broke ground. We needed to establish ourselves. We needed to figure out how are we going to organize our territory, how are we going to live. So we just we built a bunch of shacks. We had to start off small. You know, we worked with the resources that were around us, which were mostly trees with a bunch of tropical fruit on them. So we had taken down those trees. We had built these shacks that could serve us in the early stages of our period as a rising civilization, you know what I mean? So we were really just trying to establish ourselves, but there was a problem with that, is that as we went on, people weren't as productive. Keep in mind, this is a collective of all of the rejects from the rest of the world. They're sitting here thinking, you know what, I got away from my country last time, I don't want to sit here and do more stuff. So of course they're thinking, you know what, no thanks, I'm not going to do it. So that is when Reese and I came up with a plan. We had to take a bit more of an authoritarian approach to it all, and we addressed the people of reekob and we said, listen, if you're not going to kick it up a notch and start working, you're running the risk of your life. So we told everyone, enjoy yourself, work hard, or
There was one guy in particular, actually, who did not want to cooperate. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. All I'm going to say is that after everything that happened, I'm pretty cheesed, my guy. My gears have been grinded. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to talk about it. It's in the past, and I'm just so done with it at this point.
So who's this guy that Reese was talking about that was causing so much trouble? I mean, he seemed to have a lot of issues with them. Do you care to elaborate who this character was?
You didn't say his name, did you?
Of course we didn't say his name. We don't know who it is.
Just zoom this in. Just zoom this in.
All right.
Listen, whatever you do not mention Sajak.
Who's Sajak?
How do you know that name?
It was mentioned to us by an anonymous source.
Don't ever say that name ever again. Okay?
But I feel like this is a vital part of your history. Therefore,
it's an unnecessary part of our history.
who is Sajak,
Do
Race?
you want to die?
No.
I'll kill you. I'm not having fun, and it's your problem.
Shouldn't you be
You
the?
want to die?
No,
Leave it alone.
sir, please.
Let's set. Okay. You want to know?
Yes.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
This guy, freaking John Skaborski. I don't know if that's his real name. I don't care at this point.
His name is John Borsnitsky.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you about the. Okay, let me get up. What? Why is there so many pillows? Is there a sale? Get up. Okay, so this Jim Kraski character, pretty much he was the troublemaker of the civilization, and I couldn't handle it. He was so mean. Every time I asked him to do something, he'd be like, "No, I don't want to, man. And I'm doing stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, do other stuff and help, anyways." And it was super just rude. He was rude, and eventually I just got tired of it. First of all, he gave me a scar.
Can you show us this scar?
You want to see the scar? I'll
Yeah.
show the camera.
Look.
So I told him.
Yeah.
Up here.
Up.
Okay, so first of all, I told him to come help me move some fruits.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah. And I'm like, but yeah though. And he's like, nah man. I'm talking to Jeanette. I'm like, okay, Jeanette can wait. And he slapped me with a CD. And he gave me this scar.
Let me just get a
That scar right here.
good focal. Oh, that's ugly. Do it.
No!
That's gross.
So then, I brought him to a river and I drowned him. Cause you don't mess with the president and yeah. So pretty much that just set an example for everyone. If you mess with me, you're gonna die. And it's no argument, man. You just gotta accept it.
Yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I brought these pillows from home. But essentially, the whole Sajak issue, to give you the short of it was that Sajak, or John Borsnitsky, was a really unproductive citizen. He didn't do much. He just kind of sat there. He was always glum. And he's not the kind of guy you'd invite to a party, pretty much. And the thing is, Reese really didn't like that. Because Reese was all about progress, he was all about productivity, and Jack symbolized the exact opposite of all of those things. So we had to show the civilians and, our people that we meant business, right? We had to show them that our laws weren't put in place for nothing. These were here and they were real, and if you broke the rules, you would feel the wrath of us leaders. So we had him killed.
So Jacob, tell me, what happened that made your country capitalistic? Because last time I heard, it was a social country from the start. Like, what happened?
Yeah, well, you're right. We were a socialist country before. We were built on the foundation of everyone deserved an equal slice of the pie. We thought that if everyone was equal, there would be no conflict. Production would, stay level, and we do what we needed to do. But we found out that this model just didn't work. This model was very unproductive. So we decided that we were going to change our model into a more capitalistic side. We thought that if people fought to get to the higher rung of the ladder, then productivity would increase, and it did, and it introduced a lot of new values that we had introduced. For example, the 2 strikes you're out value. That's a very important value when it comes to our economy. We think you make one mistake and it's risky enough. You make another one, then you jeopardize everything, right? So you can't keep making mistakes, or you'll risk just losing everything that you've invested in. And
So, you would describe reekob as a very fascist country. Now, Jacob explained to us one of your economic values, which is the social value that stands out the most in your country.
Well, one social value we have is conformity. I mean, we like people to obey our rules. If you don't obey, if you decide not to have the littest time you can, like 100% of the time, if you decide not to be productive in our nation, then we will kill you.
So tell me, it seems like you and Reese have been the leaders of this nation for over 300 years. I mean, do you care to explain? I mean, is it like what do you do? Is it a body treatment? Is there a moisturizer? Is it all the vitamins from the fruits? What is it? How do you stay?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not surprised that Reese didn't tell you about the whole thing. I mean, he's very, very secretive about the process. But as a matter of fact, we clone each other. So I'm about the 17th Jacob.
What are you doing? What? Why are you telling them?
What is going on? What's hell?
Turn the camera off. Turn the camera off.
Okay. So, do you have any last words before we sign off after that whole conundrum?
If I had to come up with something, I'd say, come to reekob. It's lit. Gucci gang.
Gucci gang.
Wait, get out of here. Okay, just